Y'all already know what it is. I hate to call it what they call it is, but y'all already know what it is. Um, this is not like your ordinary show because I'm not even trying. Like I'm not even doing that tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome y'all to the free space of this mental health thing because we definitely gonna talk about it. I have a 17-year old. I have a 13-year old. I also have now a 14-year old. Ladies and gentlemen, I homeschool my kids. And the scariest thing is that I got no advice from nobody for a minute. Like for a minute, I've been trying to ask for some advice to say, yo, I'm gonna keep them in homeschool. I'm gonna keep them homeschool. And then you know what happened? Nobody helped me. Nobody told me anything. Nobody even recommended me any homeschool black schools or nobody did any of that. So today I was like, yo, I gotta go online to talk about how I cheated this thing. Like, yo, I cheated, guys. And when I say I cheated the system that they tried to put me in. And the reason why is because I created a space. Here we are. How y'all doing? This is the space. I created a space to where I could free my mind, not only find some answers, but just have a place where I could chill. Like I said, you got music, you want me to share it, I do all that. But at the moment, like I said, I came up here because I got these kids, right? And mental health is so fucking real. And no one gave me the advice of should I homeschool them and stuff like that or keep them homeschooled because now it's more of keeping them homeschooled. And it's a deadline because I moved to another state. So because I moved to another state, I'm on a deadline to put them in the state's school. So either I could put them in the state school or I could find, because they're already homeschooled, I can find a homeschool that will accept them. But my thing is I am looking for those scholarships. I am looking for that structure because like I wanted my babies to go to school because I don't know if anybody out there that knows about the JROTC program. The only reason why I feel about that program is because it's not military, but it'll get you started somewhere. And that discipline is something I feel like all kids need, not some. So it's just the discipline part. Everything else is just, it is what it is. So I wanted to put my 17-year-old in a JROTC program. Now I got to put him in high school. You know what I mean? And regardless of if he's going to a private high school, regardless of if he's going to a public high school, I still now have to transfer my 17-year-old kid that my kids has been homeschooled since homeschool has started with this what we called it since that thing, that 19. You feel me? So they've been homeschooled since then. And because they've been homeschooled since then, I kept them that way. And I kept them that way. And now I have to set them into the school stage. And I'm not sure how to do that. I'm not sure of the help that I should be asking. I'm not sure of the people I should be speaking to. And it's been real difficult because I'm open to the space. So if anybody's out there, y'all help me out with that situation. So I'm gonna go hit back on this cheating thing. I'm gonna hit back on that cheating thing because I know y'all heard that song that played in the beginning. That was my babe. He wrote that song for me, and when he did that, I remember those times, dog. Like times was real for us. We were real in our situation and he was focused on his music heavy. So when I listen to that song and I hear it, I hear the realness in it. And I appreciate that. So if anybody out there got that real love, y'all keep promoting that because they're trying to shut that real love down. So let's promote more of that. I like I said, I created this space so I can be comfortable. I can be vulnerable. I can just let go. So if I say some crazy stories that I've entertained or I've been a part of, and da da da. I just want people to hear me, and you know what I mean, give me feedback, what y'all doing, what y'all been through, and how y'all have overcome it, because it's not easy overcoming it. So when I put out there that I cheated, right? I want y'all to hear me out. Like, I was young, dumb, full of cum. You ever y'all doing, what y'all been through, and how y'all have overcome it, because it's not easy overcoming it. So when I put out there that I cheated, right? I want y'all to hear me out. Like, I was young, dumb, full of cum. Y'all ever heard that saying, young, dumb, full of cum? That was me at one point. And karma is a bitch. Yeah, karma's a bitch when you get older. Karma's only a bitch when you get older and you have kids, and then you start realizing how your kids act and seeing those, because you start to see yourself in your kids. Like, you start seeing the damn motherfucker, I was just like that at one point. And once again, this show is not for kids. So 18 and over, I prefer 21. It is what it is. We trying to fix us, so we can understand that this shit is gonna be left to them. So I've heard plenty of arguments of or conversations when it came down to families, and you should have a man in the home, you should have, somebody in the home. I feel we should just protect the babies, because every conversation, it just seems to drive us into a it seems to drive the wedge between us. You know what I mean? And so we don't like drive a wedge between us. I want to get down to certain things when it comes down to me being the best mom I could be. Hey, you guys, I put up some product. My product are my babies. Regardless of if I had my own business or anything, I also put out my babies. I had these kids. I'm responsible for them, and I feel responsible for them. And I'm not going to continue to keep saying that to people, and they look at me like, oh, you got to let go sometimes. You got to let these kids be kids sometimes. I'm not going to lie. When a kid is supposed to be a kid, I believe that's like around one of my kids that's 5 to about 11, 12. Once from then, I'm teaching them how to do other things, because now they're a kid, but now I have to teach them other things. But I'm going to tell y'all something, guys, right? Within teaching your babies these things, I heard even on not even Drink Champs, it's on Math Hoffa. It was a girl up there. She was like, yeah, she had it bad, and her dad was telling her she ain't gonna do that, she shouldn't do this, and da da da. And then she said, you know what? It pushed me to be better. And I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. But then she said, yeah, because then I end up getting the Bugatti, and I end up getting the ride, and threw it right up in his face. And it was like, damn, we missed the mark. There was a mark missing. Yeah, you taught your daughter how to be fly and fancy and fat, like flashy, or get this money, but you ain't teach her how to be humbled. And when I mean to be humble, sometimes you do gotta have that energy of fuck everybody. But I feel like maybe she could have kept that story to herself. Maybe that's what it could have been. But I know that I said on my channel, once we start talking about the power of the secret, and we start talking about the things that we let out our mouths, we got to understand is out there. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm talking about them. What I said is I don't deal with hot topics. So I do know that within hot topics, there's a topic. So that was a hot topic. And within that hot topic, I felt like I don't want my kids to feel like, well, I want my kids to be better than me. Like, I do teach my kids to be better than me. So no matter what, my goal is, if I'm teaching my kids to be better than me, I personally got to be better for them, because I got to get ready for the creations that I made. Like, yeah, it seems like it's difficult, but I've seen parents do it. Like, they be like, yeah, I seen my son go cop something, and you know what? I upped my game and motivated me to do more. And I'm not saying everybody get the luxury of doing those things. We all don't get the luxury of stepping our game up. We don't all get the luxury of having free time. We don't even sometimes get the luxury to take care of ourselves, to find out what type of business that we want to put ourselves in. And because I know that we don't always have that time, I said, like, I gotta create a space where we could talk about it. Like, what's time? Where are we doing? Like, what are we doing with this thing? Like, I'm tired of, if the conversation became, oh, I'm just tired of being used as a black person and da 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 da. If that's the conversation, well, I want someone out there to hear me that I am a black mom that want to change, that needs to change, and it's not because of something that I just need to do for my kids. I need to do it for myself because I know that it does, the grass is green on the other side sometimes, but it doesn't have to be you cheated on your wife or you with somebody. Nah, the grass is greener when you start changing your accents and start doing things different. I understand that we do need to start with eating healthier. I do know that we need to start paying attention to our homes. And I feel like if you got a 9 to 5, you know to pay attention to your 9 to 5. If you don't have anything other than that 9 to 5, your main priority should be your home. I feel that way, but I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Like, it's easier said than done. It really is easier said than done. Like, I could say it, I could say it, and it sounds good, but I don't want it to keep you. You know how, like, you don't need. They say you don't need nobody to validate you and da da da. You don't need somebody to validate you. You do need somebody who is doing, I guess, a little bit better than you, to let you know that, hey, you kind of on the right way. Whether you fall, whether you trip on your face, whether you go bankrupt, your home. I feel that way, but I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Like, it's easier said than done. It really is easier said than done. Like, I could say it, I could say it, and it sounds good, but I don't want it to keep you. You know how, like, you don't need. They say you don't need nobody to validate you and da da da. Da. You don't need somebody to validate you. You do need somebody who is doing, I guess, a little bit better than you, to let you know that, hey, you kind of on the right way. Whether you fall, whether you trip on your face, whether you go bankrupt through that shit, it's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel. And when I decided to say, hey, we need a space where we could talk and stuff like that, I had to be in the space. So, with me being in the space, I want to say, like, I've been torn, you guys, like, from the inside. I stay up late night listening to people on YouTube, and I hear them have the conversations of what we need to do as a black people, or I hear the conversations of, well, these people respect their culture more than we respect our culture, or their ethnicity background and all this other shit. And, like, all that shit sound good, but I feel like, for me personally, my biggest problem or my biggest situation has been my kids. You feel me? So when I'm coming up here, just know I'm coming up here as a mom trying to figure this thing out. I got knowledge as far as, like, relationships go, or I kind of got a sense of how to deal with people and certain things. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a promoter. And I understand being the loudest person in the room can also seem like the weakest person in the room. So on this channel, I so happen to be the loudest person in the room. So it's making it seem like I'm a weak person, but it's not. I'm just really trying to create a space where we can do this shit, because what else are we gonna do? I'm tired of going to these people pages and they be like, yeah, let's go to the Patreon and da 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 da. Let's go to this, or you gotta download this, and then when you get over there, it ain't shit but a bunch of messy ass people. And when you get in private spaces with people, that's when it gets messy. Because it gets messy because there are people in there that sit there and they'll pay for that. They'll pay to be in that private space. just to talk more. And so now that y'all didn't talk more, now y'all think that y'all friends. And my situation is I'm not trying to be anybody's friend that come up on here. That's why I said if my friends call or my people's call, I'm not talking to you like you my friends or my people. I'm talking to you like we trying to deal with the situation and we trying to not get kicked off the site. So that has been my learning goal to learn how to talk to people who do have these erratic ideas or these people who may say some X factor wild shit. Like that's my goal is to handle that when it comes. But at this moment, I know that I have to deal with the problem at hand. And the problem at hand is what I had today was this morning me looking at the news. And like I said, guys, like I transferred from one place to another place. So where I was living at just now, because my kids was homeschooled there, they're offering uh how do you say, a study, a African study type thing for, Black History Month. They wanted to do it today, tell you on the news, Good Morning America. That's the thing, if you want to know what it is, because I may not say everything just as clear, but you want to know what the fuck. I listen, keywords matter. You know how, like, when you get ready to read a book, and sometimes they even give you the keywords in the front of the book, or they may give it to you at the back of the book. Either way, they give you fucking keywords. So this podcast is also for my people who know how to understand keywords. Because, like I said, you could come up here with all your little fancy words. You could come up here and talk that you think that you talking. Everybody gets the smoke. It don't matter, because I'm trying to help the situation. I am not here to tear it down. So, like I said, because I'm in a situation where I have to be the loudest person in the room, it makes it seem like I'm the weakest one. But I'm not. I just so happen to provide the space. Because like I said, we gonna go as far as they let me press the button, and we gonna go as far as the site let me put that shit out there, because certain parents and certain people need to know. So, like I said, we gonna work around all that, and we gonna get to it. But we need to get to it. I need y'all to understand that I'm not. I am. It may seem like I'm intimidated, or like, you know what I mean. Sometimes you learn that you're not approachable and shit like that. Like, I learned that on my last shit. Like, you got to be approachable to people and shit like that. But I never knew how to approach people nice when shit is real. When I gotta tell my homegirl that this is somebody I'm fucking with. I don't really like my loyalty not to her man. My loyalty is not to her man friends and da 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 da. So if I'm somewhere and my homegirl be like, "Yo, you see my man and da da da," that's my homie. I'm like, "Oh, I seen them," but now I have the opportunity to be the nice friend, or I could be the friend that say, "I don't give a fuck, mind my business." And I never knew how to be either one of them bitches. I don't know how to be the good friend, and I don't know how to be the bad friend, because in the mix of me being a bad friend, I gotta be nice to calm, like, you know what I mean? Because if I'm too bad, I'm the evil friend. If I'm too good, then it's like, oh, you laughing in my face. So people interpret things so different nowadays that I now realize we need a place where we could come and talk this slang. Like, what is y'all talking about? Wrong is wrong, right is right. I don't think my friend should ask me what her man is doing. It's not my man. Don't put me in predicaments and situations with that I don't need to be in. And that is why I said I cheated. I cheated a lot because I didn't accept that. I didn't accept somebody putting me in a situation that I didn't want to be in. Now, did I be in a situation that I had no control over? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been in some situations that I had no control over, but as far as being in situations that me handling myself, I know how to walk away. I know how to say no. I know, and maybe that's because I'm a runner, I'm a track star. I don't really care how far. I'm gone. You hear me? And I'm gone. And that's only because I like to tell people, like, my people, even that's what I said, like, people fuck with me, but they don't fuck with me. I know that if I wanted to speak to somebody I ain't speak to in a minute, I could call their phone and talk to them like I talked to them yesterday. You know what I mean? Like I can do that. But those are the type of friends that I like to keep. If I could speak to you like we spoke yesterday, then we cool. So like I said, like I have friends that I can talk to like that, but they also tell me like, maybe I come off a little aggressive. So like I said, if y'all hear something of me being a little aggressive, just understand that this is a step by step basis. You're not always gonna get I'm not gonna always look, or I'm not gonna look like what you think. I'm just going to be a person that is also maybe going through the same thing that you're going through, and I may not know how to get out of it. I may not know how to see the best way. So, like I said, you come talk to me about it and we're going to talk about it no matter what. I'm not going to shy away from it, but like I said, right now I'm shying away from it. I'm shying away from the the kid shit. Like, you know how it feels to not know the hands that you're gonna put your kids in? Like, I don't. Are there real parents out there that give a fuck where their kids go? Like, are there parents out there that don't let just anybody babysit them? Are there parents out there that just they got the kids all the time? There's no babysitter because their mental won't allow them to. No, I don't trust nobody, everybody's a suspect. But what's happened to me, and me feeling like that everybody's a suspect, I feel like I was losing out. I was kidding myself a little bit.